Huge episode today, Ricky Flex, and I think we should just get right into it. We got Oscar nominations that came out last week following the Deepas. We're riding quite the high right now after last week's episode, but we will talk about the less important but still significant awards show happening in April now, which is kind of wild. But we're going to go over the winners and losers. Then we got massive trailer roundup, as we said, Death on the Nile, huge lineup for episode 76. So with that being said, let's get to the Oscar nominations. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to go through winners and losers, right? And some big surprises that we got. It was kind of fun sitting on social media, watching the live stream of what the nominees were going to be. I was getting a little bit of a rush because this is the most movies I've seen from like potential nominations. Like I think there's only like one or two movies I have not seen that was getting that got major nominations here. Did you find that these movies were just more available than ever before on streaming services, and maybe just because we're doing more homework than ever? Like, what are your thoughts there, Ricky Flex?
I don't think so. I think it's like kind of in the middle. I think that they're making a conscious effort to make them so available. Like news came out today, I guess the day before you listened to this on Monday, that Drive My Car is coming out on HBO Max on March 2nd. That's huge. That was a big winner of these nominations.
Massive.
Huge, like shocking to get into the best
that.
picture, like shocking to get the screenplay or worst person in the world got the screenplay recognition. That was shocking in itself, over Sorkin and over other people. But all in all, like, yes, they are getting more available, but like I still haven't seen that one. I haven't seen Worst Person in the World. I know like a lot of other movies that weren't nominated but were in the race I haven't seen, like Red Rocket, Come On. Like there's a lot of other ones that were in this Oscar race that you still can't see streaming or nationwide.
Right. And there's still like some of these that are still stuck in art house films, like Drive My Car. Like I was shocked that I saw that HBO Max is getting this movie.
It's huge.
And I think it's so big because out of all the Best Picture nominees, that is the one that stuck out like a sore thumb. If you're a real movie buff, you've heard about this movie, even if you haven't seen it, you didn't know if it was going to get a nomination. It seems like it's a contender for Best International Feature, and probably the strong favorite, obviously, if it's getting a Best Picture nom. But I think, why do you think we're getting these international features like in the Best Picture category as of recently? Like, why do you think it's now like the in thing to have like one of these
so trendy right now
unknowns? Yeah, what's your theory on why this is happening?
Yeah, so another round last year, Thomas Vinterberg
Parasite
as well.
The year before.
And Parasite kind of like started this trend. And I think it's just like the Oscars, like huge diversity problem with the Oscars, right?
Yep.
Like white Oscars, like there's like that, like still even to this day, it's still like trying to get over that hump of just that diversity issue. And this is just another push. And you have Jane Campion getting nominated for Best Director here for a second time, first ever time that's ever happened that a woman's been nominated twice for directing. So, and it's a woman being nominated for directing has only happened like Greta Gerwig and her. So it's like it rarely happens. So there's not just like the diversity with international films and also race, but also gender. And the Oscars is just making conscientious push towards diversity and also just the best movies. I think that even like Tick Tick Boom, Being the Ricardo is not getting nominated here for Best Picture is huge because they aren't better than these other acclaimed movies like Drive My Car. And they actually put in that movie over the more popular, not diverse movies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I 100% think it's a very much the idea of diversity. And I think it kind of goes back to remember the Oscars So White, like whole controversy that happened a few years ago. Eventually, like Black Panther gets nominated, right? And then you also have the expansion of the Best Picture category where you can include like an international film. It was kind of made for like some of these more blockbuster films. At least we thought, like following The Dark Knight, they expand the category. But what we really have seen is like just people are able. I know this isn't necessarily the case for a lot of these international features, but with streaming services, some of these are you're able to see. It's not Drive My Car, not until at least March 2nd when this nomination already comes out. But I think also there's 10,000 people in the Academy of Motion Picture like voting for the Oscars, and I think that's a substantial amount compared to what it had previously.
Yes.
And they're drawing from voters from all over the world. It's just natural to have some of these nominees. The only thing is, in the US, we're not seeing this movie. So when we see this movie get a nomination for Best Picture and you don't see other ones that we're more familiar with acclaimed filmmakers not get nominated, it's a little sketchy, where it's like, wow, is this movie that good? Right. And a lot of times they're right when it comes to these international features like Parasite and Another Round, both bangers. I love both of those movies. But let's go into the big winners. I guess Drive My Car definitely falls into that category. We're definitely unsure if it was going to get a nomination, but it almost comes into this idea where we can almost expect an international feature every year to take one of these slots, right?
Yeah.
Another winner of the Oscar nominations here, I had couples. Like we had two couples, right? Married couples that were nominated in the acting category, right? For Best Supporting Actor, you had Jesse Plemons in The Power of the Dog and his wife, Kirsten Dunst, for Best Supporting Actress in Power of the Dog. I think she has a great shot to win. Jesse Plemons, I can't really see that. But also Javier Bardem for Best Actor and Being the Ricardos, and Penelope Cruz in a movie, yet another one, international feature I haven't seen. I think it's international feature. Is that right? Parallel Mothers?
Parallel Mothers is Spanish, right?
Yeah, so I've not seen that movie as well, but I mean that's never happened before. It has even one couple been nominated that like is together, because I know we had, remember Catherine Bigelow and James Cameron got nominated. We go
right.
1-on-1, right after their divorce. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I don't know if it's happened before, but it was cool to see. Like, it kind of like Javier Bardem was like the top. There's like a clear top 4, and then he was like the by default 5th pick there. So like it was nice to see him get nominated, but like he doesn't have a chance in heck.
I like seeing Bardem get nominated, though. I know we both thought he had a very charismatic performance as Ricky Ricardo in Being the Ricardos. I don't know how accurate his portrayal was, but all I know is that he made that movie extremely watchable alongside Nicole Kidman. He was dynamite, right? I love seeing him shaking the hips and he's walking around, and he's basically running a studio. Yeah, so good. You always do that when you bring up Bardem.
Right, I do. That was a great scene. I wish they like hit that home a little harder, to be honest, in that scene, and like make it an Oscar moment maybe. But hey, I don't think he has a chance. Like, I don't think he has a chance at all. No. But he is making a push now. Did you see what he did after he got nominated?
Oh, yeah. Did he talk about the diversity aspect?
Yes. Immediately after the nominations, he did an interview to talk about how like the Academy and Hollywood needs to get more diverse and everything like that, and specifically to Hispanics. So immediately he's starting the campaign trail.
I wasn't too shocked by the nomination either, just because he is an Oscar winner. And sometimes a lot of times the Oscars love the Oscars.
And so he was nominated for the SAG and the Golden Globes. So like, not shocking that he got nominated. It's just like, he's clearly below the other performances.
And I do want to talk about another, I guess, a winner that goes along with like the Jesse Plemons conversation for Best Supporting Actor. J.K. Simmons gets a nomination for Being the Ricardos as well. Did you see this one coming?
Did not see this coming.
I hated it, to be honest. Oscar loves Oscars, though.
I love J.K. Simmons, and I liked him in the role, but this was just a mistake. Like, this was not right. And I love our plump boy.
He didn't deserve it either.
Yeah, this was a bad, like, this was like the highlight for me, as in this was a big miss category. But at the end of the day, none of it matters because Cody Smith-McPhee is winning this by a landslide. So None of it will matter. It's just like, at the end of the day, it's like when you retire and you're going into the Hall of Fames or whatever, your acclaim. It's like, oh, how many Oscar noms did you get? This is huge for like JK to get multiple now.
Yeah, it's like second team All Pro.
Right.
So it's to me, like Power of the Dog just got so much love. It had the most nominations for any movie, followed by Dune. I think it had 12 for Power of the Dog, 11 for Dune. Power of the Dog made every major acting category nominated, right? Kirsten Dunst, you got Benedict Cumberbatch, Cody Smith McPhee, and Plemons. Like that is, I think it shows their love for Jane Campion. And I know she took a little hiatus from filmmaking, but it shows just how much they adore her. And it's just a good sign for that movie. I think it's going to. A lot of times it's not going to be that movie that gets a ton of nominations and doesn't win. You know, like Mank got a ton of nominations,
Right.
only won like two or three. I can see
This
Power of the
has
Dog.
momentum. This has so much momentum right now.
We're going to get to our favorites, I guess, in a little bit. But I mean, Power of the Dog, it's lining up to win Best Picture.
Yeah. So you mentioned Dune as well, the second most noms. There's obviously leading indicators like inside the Oscars, like not just like for Best Picture, but with other awards, right? And one of them obviously is, did your actors get nominated? And Power of the Dog got nominated every single category: Best Actor, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress. The 3 out of the 4, I should say. So like that's huge. Got Best Director, but then also it got sound, editing, set design. Like it hit all the other notes.
It should win score. Like that's my favorite score, like in a long time.
It was really good. Phenomenal. But like other movies, like I won't spoil anything, but like a couple other movies in Best Picture that people like think have a chance, they weren't nominated for editing. They weren't nominated for sound or set design. Those big indicators, those leading indicators in the beginning of the show. So those don't really even come close to Power of the Dog. It just shows that this has the most momentum. Everyone adores this film, or at least says they recognize, wow, this was a great achievement. So this one has all the momentum and is biggest favorite here.
Yeah. And like Drive My Car, it's so interesting because now this is going to be available. What kind of like attraction will the wider audiences garner for this movie?
That's a good point.
And is it all of a sudden going to have this major push where it's like, wow, like this is really something special? And it's like with this whole international craze that's happening, it's almost like, you just don't know what's going to happen. Also, big winner. Speaking of Best Picture, nominee sneaking in, Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro. What a follow-up to his Oscar win, right? His next film, Nightmare Alley, starring Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Rooney Mara. No one was really predicting it was going to get that Best Picture nom. We didn't when we did our podcast. We had it just on the outside looking in, but it sneaks in ahead of Tick, Tick, Boom and Being the Ricardos. All right, what are your thoughts on that, Ricky Flex?
This was a huge winner. And just sneak peek at losers, Bradley Cooper, big loser. But Guillermo del Toro, huge winner here. It's like this was the film after his Oscar win. So it's like similar to like Being the Ricardos. The Oscars love actors. They also love former Oscar winners. So like, boom, here you go. Right. And they sneak them in. I like the film a lot. I think it's deserving of top 10 Best Picture. I don't know if you are, but I liked it a lot. I think it also got other noms, right? Didn't it get like production?
I think best cinematography. I'm pretty sure.
Cinematography, like this movie, like it hit the Oscar notes too. It's just it's a little unconventional with the actual story and everything like that, but it hit all those main notes that got it its Best Picture nomination. So I totally I'm shocked. We didn't predict it, but I understand it.
And we're going to talk about Bradley Cooper, but it makes me think like that 5th spot for Best Actor, if they thought so highly of Nightmare Alley, like could Bradley Cooper have snuck in to the Best Lead Actor ahead of Bardem, an actor who already had the award and has no shot at winning it this year? Bradley Cooper, the star appeal of him being in that category could have been something else. Obviously, Bardem is a huge star in and of himself, but it just makes me think like how close was Cooper to getting a nomination in the Best Actor category. And we're thinking of Licorice Pizza, Best Supporting Actor. We're going to get to that in a second, but that just has my brain ticking right now.
Yeah.
Also, Coda nominated for Best Picture.
Good to see.
Huge. I know we were huge fans. We talk about like taking a genre and putting a modern spin on it. Even with a a cast that's relatively unknown. And we also got to compliment Troy Kotzer, another major nomination for Coda, the first deaf person to be nominated for an Oscar,
It's big.
an acting Oscar. I don't know if overall, but congrats. I love Coda. I find it almost the most rewatchable out of any of the Best Picture nominees I've seen this year. I don't think it has really a shot at winning. It doesn't really have the momentum of A Power of the Dog, but I'm not going to rule it out completely because I think earlier on, like this was actually like low key, like potentially a favorite, like I guess early on in award season. It almost had that mystique about it where only some people had seen this movie, but there, anyone who had seen it said this might be the best movie of the year. It kind of had that magic to it that like the old Oscars had, you know, where other movies weren't available on streaming, and it felt more exclusive if you actually saw those movies.
Yeah, I agree. I think no Amelia Jones, right, the lead actress in this movie, didn't get nominated here. So I think that was kind of tough. She was nominated at the BAFTAs, but not here. But yeah, you're right. Like overall, like this is a nice story, nice to see. We have to see screenplay wise because this was also nominated for screenplay, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see if it gets a win anywhere.
It kind of like, to me, it falls in the same line as like Lady Bird when that came out a few years ago.
Yeah,
but that was even more critically acclaimed just because it had that 100% in Rotten Tomatoes that everyone's like drooling over.
Had some
right?
star power, up and coming actresses.
Saoirse Ronan like is just a powerhouse in and of herself. Like, and she is just Oscar material. That's like who she is. And Greta Gerwig is one of the best like directors that
Timothy Chalamet. Like it was just like it had so many like up and comers.
Hedges,
right?
Like,
Hedges.
If you put Hedges in there, it's an Oscar nominee. All right. I don't know if this is a winner. I was kind of shocked by this, but Free Guy getting a nomination. Remember how I said, Ricky Flicks, like there's always a movie when we look at these categories that sticks out compared to the other ones. And we have a Ryan Reynolds like a video game movie being nominated. Honestly, it is for best visual effects, I believe. And that kind of blew my mind because I didn't think they were that good in this movie. But thoughts on Free Guy getting a nomination over some other films here?
Yeah, by far the weirdest. And I think the second weirdest was Shang-Chi because I thought that CGI was iffy. With the dragons. That or the dragon that had iffy CGI as well, but both of them got nominated here. Not deserving, but definitely the one, like you said, like you're looking down the list. Oh, okay, what do you see? Oh, Nightmare Alley. Okay, yeah, I see that.
The Suicide Squad of this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the Suicide Squad of this year. Man, what if Free Guy or Shang-Chi win an Oscar?
Man, I think I think the voters mail in this award so hard. They're just like, okay. Like they probably didn't even watch those movies. They just saw they were Marvel movies. They're like, oh, we have to reward this type of cinema. Sorry, Martin Scorsese. In some capacity, right? You have to award it in some way, and the only way is the best visual effects. Although, did you see?
I was gonna say, was this nomination done before the fan vote award?
But the fan vote means nothing, right? It's just like they're gonna recognize, like, hey, most people voted for this movie. What movie using this like Twitter like Oscar poll that they're doing, this category, which movie is going to win in your opinion?
No Way Home. Most people saw it.
You don't. So would the Snyder Cut even be available for this award?
I think it would because it came out after March 1st. But the problem is, I don't think there's enough steam. It's been too long.
This makes me think, like, I think if this had a chance to be like recognized at the Oscars, enough people would rally around, and like those who were Snyder Cut people, they'll come back out of the woodwork to try and get this mentioned on the big stage at the Oscars. They will do that for Zack Snyder.
So the premise is like this fan vote, you could tweet out like using the hashtag, and you could vote for just a little recap for the audience here in case you missed it. Did you see how many tweets you're allowed to put out a day?
An individual? Like yes.
One person, one user. They could tweet out X amount times a day.
I'm going to predict 10.
More.
20.
You could tweet out 20 times a day for a movie. So from March, March 3rd, I think it starts. March 3rd. Wait. No, it's by March 3rd. So yeah, I guess it starts now.
So Restore the Snyderverse is going to be trending on movie Twitter for the next month.
Yeah, No Way Home.
Yes, but I'm like, I don't even know if does this movie that gets nominated here or whatever that you get to vote on, does it have to be one that was submitted for award season? Like, does it have to be one that is eligible, or is it just any movie?
I think it's just a fan vote. It's honestly just
They're
a fan vote
opening
on
up a
Twitter.
can of worms here potentially. Can you imagine? I think like No Way Home, I think will win because that's like the fan favorite and the one that was left off the nominees list. But you can't rule out the Snyder Cut psychos if they're getting 20 tweets a day, right? And they're coming out of the woodwork, returning to like their glory on Twitter. This is what they're made to do. They are the biggest hashtag users in the history of movie Twitter.
I don't know. It's yes, but it's just been so long. I don't know.
All right. So those are like the winners, I would say I kind of narrowed down. Did you have any other winners you wanted to mention before I go into the losers or other surprises we saw?
I guess a winner that we haven't talked about, movie theaters.
Hey,
Movie theaters. Seriously, like Netflix, two streaming nominations for Best Picture, the rest out in theaters, right? None for Prime, 2 for Netflix. Like I said, streaming's just changing. Probably going to win Best Picture here, but it's still like theaters. The movies coming out in theaters are getting recognized more, by far more than streaming. So that's huge for movie theaters. And I also think the Warner Brother films getting released now. I know there's a lot going on HBO Max still, but we're not going to see Matrix Resurrections or King Richard. We're not going to see those type of dual releases for those type of box office numbers again. Probably we'll probably see like lesser movies like Kimmy, like lesser as in like not box office potential doing that, but not like a Matrix Resurrection. So
like Soderbergh signed that deal. Like yeah, you won't see those huge blockbusters like the Soderbergh where he gets to get a little creative, dive into different types of genres. Those are the type of movies you're going to be seeing on HBO Max. I do have to bring up one more winner, Ricky Flicks. We actually talked about it last episode. We reviewed or 2 episodes ago, The Lost Daughter. Dude, our girl Jessie Buckley got nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
That was a shock.
And without no one had like talked about her whatsoever. And then we said, like, why is no one talking about her? She'd be like, but we think that she deserved a nomination. Lo and behold, guess who's nominated for Best Supporting Actress? The one and only Jessie Buckley. We also have 2 people being nominated for the same role they're playing, which is also nuts.
Yes.
Olivia Colman.
Is that a first time?
Buckley.
That has to be the first time that's ever happened, right?
I'm trying to think of another situation like Boyhood. No, the same people played the same actors, right? In Boyhood.
Yes.
I wouldn't know. I would, that might require some research, but I think that was cool. You get 2 people playing the same category. Yeah.
I guess another quick winner also is Judi Dench for Belfast. That was a shocker.
Judi Dench, Belfast. I still have to see Belfast. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I thought Ruth Negga from Passing should have been nominated.
And that seems like a definitely Oscar bait type of movie. And you talk about Netflix being popular right now with the Oscar vote. That is a little shocking.
I love the Ruth Negga
subject material. Seemed like it lined up.
Yeah.
Losers, dude. God dang it. Denny V gets snubbed for Best Director for his adaptation of Dune. Ricky Flicks, do you think he deserved a spot on here? And if he did, who do you take off? Because this, in my opinion, this was the toughest category. There, like everyone, I think belonged that was nominated, but I think you had to fit in Denny V here.
Yeah, I think it was a must. It was a must to fit in Denny V with the cast that it was, the visualization of not just what's on the screen, but actually the story. A story where it has been tried before by a great filmmaker, David Lynch, and guess what? Failed miserably because it's that hard of a story to convey on the screen. And guess what? He did it. He did it extremely well. At least the first half of it, he did it extremely well. Makes sense. Unbelievable movie. Like everything in that movie is like put together so perfectly. And to not recognize him here is tragic. There's no other word. It's tragic. The only, like, I haven't seen Belfast, so I can't really say get rid of Kenneth Branagh, or I haven't seen Drive My Car. So like The only other ones to get rid of is Jane Campion or PTA, and that's
You're not
just
going to do that.
I can't possibly do
Right.
that.
And after
So
PTA has been snubbed so many times, like, you know that he's not going to get thrown off this list. Steven Spielberg, for what he did for West Side Story, definitely deserving. And you just say the name Steven Spielberg, you're like, that's goddamn cinema.
right.
Jane Campion, such a favorite. Kenneth Branagh seems like he's been campaigning for this position for months upon months. Personal story. It seems like this is his moment, right? There's a good chance he wins. But I got to see Drive My Car, because that's the one I would knock off just because I haven't seen it. It's not as widely popular. I mean, this is like this is why people have problems with the Oscars, like not rewarding movies that people have actually seen and enjoy, love, right? It was Dune, and a movie that is nominated for 11 Oscars, right? None of them acting. Like, what the hell do you think the director's doing? Just standing there the entire time?
Yeah.
And a movie they looked at as being like impossible to adapt, where it's a book and the subject material, they've tried to do it before. It takes an incredible visionary to accomplish what he does, to bring the prestige to such a blockbuster movie. This is not a Marvel movie. This is not a DC movie, right? This is a blockbuster that has gravitas to it, and he deserves to have a nomination here. I honestly don't care who you take off this list. His track record speaks for itself too, right? He deserves to be here.
Definitely deserves to be here. And I think the greatest argument here is not just like the impossible story that he made possible, and to a great extent, no actors were nominated. The story, the screenplay wasn't nominated, adapted screenplay, which is a tragedy in itself that it wasn't nominated for adapted screenplay. So that means this is all on the director here. If you're saying that,
he put
Academy,
the team on his back for one of the most like greatest visual spectacles
it's a huge miss.
In years.
It's a huge miss. And this isn't a superhero movie. This isn't even Lord of the Rings. This is more artsy than those two combined. If you had to like pick which one's artsy, this would be the most artsy, most Academy, like most potential for the Academy. The only reason why I think this one didn't get any nominations for acting or directing and won't win Best Picture is from what I've been saying this entire time. There's going to be a second one, and that will win everything. That will win everything.
I'm buying your stock now, Ricky Flicks. It's on the rise. Like I should have bought it when it was lower, because like dude had such hype when it came out. I overreacted to it. So did Nez. It still was my favorite movie of the year alongside West Side Story. Now it's like inevitable that it's going to, right? If the first one gets nominated for all these awards, more put together story with more powerful performances, potentially, right? With more screen time from characters like Chalamet as Atreides, and then Zendaya. It's just, you feel like it's almost going to be a reward for the culmination of this project, right? With Dune Part 2. If it ends with Part 2, I don't know if they're going to do 3 parts for this whole story. I assume only 2, but almost like, as you said, a Return of the King type vibes, where it's just like, this is incredible. The 2-part, it's like impossible to ignore, especially after snubbing him this time. That's disgraceful. So other big surprises. So Lady Gaga doesn't receive a Best Actress nomination for her role in House of Gucci, one that she continuously got awards for, even though, like, I know me and you both weren't crazy fans of her in that movie. It seemed like it,
correct.
Obviously, we talked about like the hit she was, like her follow-up performance to Star is Born, seeing her get snubbed on the biggest stage after being nominated again had to have been a surprise. I thought she was going to be a lock to get nominated, but I also just wanted to bring up really quick in the same category, Jodie Comer, no nomination for The Last Duel, someone I would have put on there. And then kind of a shocker, Alana Haim, no nomination for Licorice Pizza. Ricky Flex, do you think any of those should have been nominated?
So let's see. You said no Gaga. Gaga was the only actress nominated in every single award show, like good award show, and then didn't get nominated for the Oscars.
Shocker.
That's crazy. So some more names here. You mentioned Gaga. You mentioned Haim. I mentioned Amelia Jones earlier. Jennifer Hudson for Respect, and Rachel Zegler for West Side Story.
We were talking about. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
All 5 of those and Tessa Thompson were nominated at the BAFTAs. None of them nominated here.
That's nuts.
You cannot trust the BAFTAs anymore. That is my take from this Oscar season. You
Something
cannot
fishy
trust
going on there.
The acting noms from the BAFTAs, including Best Supporting, for both sides, actress and actor, and here Best Actress. Most of them, and from the BAFTAs, almost all were not nominated at the Oscars. That is telling. BAFTAs are not a leading indicator anymore.
And then also Kristen Stewart getting a nomination.
Yes.
After being shut out recently in some of these prestigious award shows.
The British award show denied her.
But there's conspiracies on that.
Yes.
Obviously
clearly.
British like show, and then like obviously
Diana.
like, the Royals. Yeah.
I watched that this weekend.
Spencer?
I watched it.
It's on Hulu, correct?
Yes, I did watch it.
I might watch it tonight. I think I have to. Thoughts? Any quick thoughts?
Quick thoughts. Very one note the entire time. Movie doesn't develop or doesn't like ramp up like I would like to see it. It's basically one note the entire time, but did enjoy the performance. Performance is very emotional. You can understand where it's coming from. It has its issues, but overall, decent movie, good performance. Will it win Best Actress? I personally think Olivia Colman was better in The Lost Daughter than Kristen Stewart.
She's got to be the favorite, right? She's got a lot of like momentum right now.
Yeah, I liked Alana Haim better than Kristen Stewart as well. It's just a flashier role, Princess Diana. But yeah, I think Coleman has the momentum here. This is hers to lose.
It's interesting. Like Coleman, it almost feels like when she gets nominated, she's a lock to win. It is nuts. Like
the Academy loves her.
She's like Streep, but wins. You know,
she does win a lot. A lot.
Yeah. How many does she have already? 2, 3?
2, maybe 3.
2. My God.
That's insane.
Like she's just running train on the competition here. They love her. They love her so much. I do want to talk about Best Supporting Actor because this is a heartbreaker for the drive-in. We have 2 Depot winners that got shut out of the Best Supporting Actor category. One being our comeback actor of the year with Ben Affleck. We're going to talk about his most recent trailer in, was it Deepwater?
Yep.
Deepwater. Deepwater with Ana de Armas, but he gets shut out out of a Best Supporting Actor nomination for his work in, what's the movie called? God dang it. What's it called?
Tender Bar.
That's it. See, now I guess he didn't really deserve to be nominated. And then Bradley Cooper, Licorice Pizza, right? Ricky Flex. I know you think that Bradley Cooper should have been nominated at least. Who you taking off the list to put him on there?
Literally
at the show.
All of them except Cody Smith McPhee. I would put Ben Affleck and Bradley Cooper in over those 2.
Let me just read them out loud.
Okay,
so,
yes.
So it's Ciarán Hinds, right, for Belfast. Troy Kotzer, Coda, Jesse Plemons, Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons being the Ricardos, and obviously Cody Smith McPhee for Power of the Dog. 2 Power of the Dogs and no Licorice Pizza for Bradley Cooper.
Jesse Plemons getting nominated. I love our plump boy, but that was crazy. Like J.K. Simmons getting nominated over Bradley Cooper and Ben Affleck. Tender Bar, I didn't like it. I know you think it was okay. I did not like it. But Ben Affleck was great in that. He was great in that.
I would have Affleck over at least Simmons and Plemons here.
Easily.
Not over Troy Kotzer. I would take out Plemons and Simmons, and then you obviously install Affleck, Cooper. Imagine, I mean, holy crap. Like, look at the names here, like supporting actors. It could have been an awesome category. Like, how do you not want Bradley Cooper at your award show?
Hey, and you could say the same thing for Best Actor. You could have had Bradley Cooper, like we mentioned, or Leo.
Holy crap, dude. Imagine we had Bardem, Cumberbatch, Denzel, Will Smith, or even if you get rid of Garfield. I know he was great.
Or Bardem.
But Bardem's a winner.
But Leo's a winner.
Yes, I know. But like, I don't know, but Leo didn't deserve it. But like, he's someone you want at the show.
Right.
Nightmare Alley has that intrigue to it because it had the surprise nomination. How close was he actually getting there? But imagine like that; those are huge names for Best Actor. That is, And then you got to think it's Will Smith's time too, right? We'll get to the predictions eventually.
But Cody Smith-McPhee, I think, was the best supporting actor this year, but not too far behind was Bradley Cooper in my eyes. I think that was a big, like, I do think that was bad on the Academy. I think he should have gotten in. I don't care about screen time. There's been winners with less screen time, significantly less than Bradley Cooper in Licorice Pizza.
Significantly less.
Yeah, so we can't say that's the reason. We cannot.
They just did. But it's sad. It's sad. We got to find a way to get him his Oscar, bro.
I can tell you this, Doctor. All right, you want to hear something kind of sad that might happen to Bradley Cooper?
What?
He might become Ben Affleck.
No.
He is directing and in these creating movies now. And we saw it in A Star Is Born. He's coming out with Maestro later this year. Most likely this year. He's directing, writing, and acting in it. And Jeremy Strong and Carey Mulligan are starring alongside him. It will be an Oscar contender.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad thing. He becomes Ben Affleck and he wins Best Picture. Like,
right. That's what I'm thinking. He might be that. He might not get the acting award he deserves, but he will get a writing, directing award.
So you think it's going to be that trajectory, like similar as Affleck?
If he can't get nominated for either Licorice Pizza or Nightmare Alley this year, then I do have my concerns.
I'm not giving up on my take either that Affleck's going to still win a Best Supporting Actor Oscar in his career. He will. I'm still committed to that take. Bradley Cooper's going to win a Best Actor.
He has to. He's too good. Yeah. He's not like Ben Affleck anymore. Like he was like in the beginning, like doing all like he did Aloha and like those type of movies, or he was freaking in Wedding Crashers, like total supporting character. Zach, yeah,
all-time
Zach with S, but. He's a long way from that. Ben Affleck did struggle for a lot longer.
Yeah, he's younger. Like Bradley Cooper's a little bit younger, not too much younger, to be honest. Honestly, they might be similarly really close in age. I'm really nervous that they're close.
What do you predict?
I think that Cooper is 40 and then Affleck's 44.
Okay, so
Affleck 45.
Who do you want me to say first?
Affleck.
He's 49.
Oh, shit.
Bradley Cooper is 47 years old.
Oh my God.
He is on the same
Bradley Cooper's 47? Wow.
Yes.
He's old.
Yes.
Oh,
he's been around, man. Wedding Crashers, it was like 03?
05.
05? Like he's been around.
16.
Wet Hot American Summer like was 90s, like or like 01. Yeah. So just he's been around, man. Nervous.
All right. One day he'll get his award. We know maybe he'll be a multiple time Depot winner, and that's good enough. That's going to be our recap of the Oscar noms. A lot of winners and losers here. Can't wait to do a prediction show. Ricky Flex, it seems like you have something else to say.
I will say I did have a couple more losers here, but Tony Kushner, huge snub. That was
okay.
Besides the Bradley Cooper, that was like and Denny. That was my biggest like gripe. But he adapted West Side Story screenplay so well. That was a huge miss.
But at the same time, it's like you're adopting from material that's won an Oscar for that material.
I know, but like he did it so well.
Yes, but like you're not going to reward that.
But that's literally the award is adapted screenplay because you're adapting from something else.
Let me look at the nominees.
Like Nightmare Alley didn't get a nom for that either, from a prior work. So that's maybe an indicator there saying they weren't going to nominate former movies, only like books. But then again, Passing didn't get a nomination for this either, and that had significant changes. If you've seen Passing, at the end. So we'll see.
Coda, Drive My Car. You got to see Drive My Car and see how it would compete. Dune was obviously going to get a nomination. You could have replaced it with Lost Daughter. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like you could have done that. Power of the Dog, you're not going to get it instead of. Yeah, you got a point. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and then Sorkin, other big loser. The Academy no longer loves him anymore. No Best Picture or writing.
They see through him. See through him.
Yes, this was bad for him. So he's got to either go back to writing or make a serious change here.
Okay, so that's going to do it for our Oscar nomination recap. Remember to follow us. Like last year, we did an Instagram live show where we picked our winners and losers. this slate of movies is just 10 times better than last year.
Yes.
Make sure that you catch up on these with these movies. A lot of them are on streaming. Spencer on Hulu. We got Nightmare Alley. It's on HBO Max right now, but I think it's moving to Hulu. And then
it's on both right now, actually.
Drive My Car coming to HBO Max. Make sure you can see these movies. Make sure you do see these movies before the awards.
Coda, Apple TV.
Yeah. And then Power of the Dog, Netflix. Yeah. Tick, tick, boom. You get it. Oh, and I mean, we didn't even talk about Don't Look Up, but we'll see.
Doesn't deserve it.